Hey, it's Plaid Man. So I had an interesting thing happen recently with Facebook. Actually, I had a couple interesting things happen with Facebook. The most recent thing that happened that I thought was interesting was a acquaintance, a Facebook friend, if you will, posted something that I commented on. And the person responded back saying something to the effect of, hey, you keep commenting on my stuff. I don't really want to have a discussion on Facebook. If you want to talk about it whenever we see each other in real life, I'm more than willing to do that. Now, I think it's interesting that if you're on Facebook and you are communicating a point, it's, to me, that is the same thing as kind of, or similar to a person on the corner of a street speaking out loud with a message, or holding a sign up saying, hey, I have this point and I have this communication that I want to get across. And that's totally fine with me. I just think that if you are going to do that, if you're putting something on a public sector, public area where other people can access it, I feel that also implies that it's okay for other people to communicate a counter message or a counterpoint to your thing. It basically is kind of like saying, I'd like to, I want to talk about it, or this is something that's interesting to me. And to be fair, I wasn't trolling this individual. I wasn't attacking the person. I wasn't necessarily attacking their views. I was, in my understanding of it, they posted something and I was like, well, what about this and this and this and this and this? And I'll talk about the subject matter in general later, because it talks about, the person mentioned slavery. And it's definitely something that's coming up a lot recently, and I'd like to bring it up and confront it. But basically, I just think it's interesting. If you have a Facebook account and you are posting things on your Facebook account, is it okay for you? I mean, I guess that you can do what you want, but is it make sense to post something and then be like, oh, well, I don't really want your opinion. I just posted this so more people could say, yeah, I totally agree. And if that's what you're doing, then that's fine. It just kind of, I don't know, it makes me not really want to be your friend anymore on Facebook, and or at least not follow what you're doing, because you're not willing to have a discussion about it. And it's very difficult. And it's rather interesting if you're willing to have a discussion, but you're not willing to have a discussion via Facebook. So it'd be like the person on the street and they're like, hey, I don't want to talk about this right here, but if you call me on my personal cell phone at a later point, we can talk about it. I'm like, well, you're here now. You're talking about this thing now. Okay. There'd be like a bunch of protesters outside and they're like, we don't like blah, we don't like blah. And you're like, okay, guys, I got it. You can go home. We're gonna set up a big phone conversation later to talk about this. Thank you for your time. Bye. And I don't think that's kind of silly. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that. Feel free to comment on this later. This video might get deleted, but I kind of wanted to just try out the idea of, I had a thought and I wanted to communicate it. So there you go.